So it looks like the saga is over. We have our answer. The verdict is in. The transgender teacher out of Halton District School Board that goes by the name Kayla Lemieux appears to have won. He does not have to remove his prosthetic breasts, his giant, lewd prosthetic breasts. He gets to continue to wear them. So without any further ado, let's get into this article I came across that kind of explains the Halton District School Board's reasoning for the big win that he was awarded. School board concludes it can't implement dress code after teacher wears giant fake breasts. An Ontario school has completed a dress code review after one of its teachers sparked an international outcry by wearing enormous prosthetic breasts in class. The Halton District School Board concluded in a newly released report that the board should not bring in a dress code for teachers because of human rights concerns. The review was announced after students posted photos and videos to social media of a transgender teacher wearing huge prosthetic breasts. The industrial arts teacher at Oakville Trafalgar High School, west of Toronto, sparked a frenzy that spread online and around the world. It led to Stephen Lecce, Ontario's education minister, calling on the Ontario College of Teachers to review and consider strengthening professional conduct provisions on September 26th. The college accepted. The college has been reviewing its professional standards in response to Minister Lecce's request. We will provide a response to the minister when it is ready, Andrew Fifield, a college spokesman, told National Post in October. The result of that report have not yet been made public. The Halton District School Board, meanwhile, initiated its own report into a dress code for teachers. The results were released at a school board meeting on Wednesday, as first reported by Global News. Sari Taha, the superintendent of human resources with the school board, told trustees that there are two considerations regarding dress codes. The first is whether a dress code would be allowed under labor and employment law. The second is whether it would be contrary to Ontario's Human Rights Code. The idea that an organization, a company, a place of employment can't implement some sort of basic dress code is just ludicrous to me, but let's go on and see what else they say in this article about that. Either way, the board can't make changes right now because it cannot update workplace rules during collective bargaining, which is ongoing. Even if we are to consider a workplace rule in that sense, we can't do that, Taha told the board. Still, the report concluded that the board would be exposed to considerable liability if it implemented a dress code on the basis of it being considered discriminatory. Where an employer's dress or grooming standards create a discriminatory impact, it will be incumbent on the employer to establish that the standards are a bona fide occupational requirement, most likely on the basis that they are necessary to protect the workplace health and safety, the report says. It notes that discrimination could take the form of a dress code that places more onerous requirements on female employees or forces them to dress in a more conventional manner. Any rules on grooming and clothing would also need to allow sufficient latitude for religious staff, the report says. I find it interesting that the report even went into the religious argument at all, seeing as this argument actually has nothing to do with religion, and no one's saying that you should not have religious accommodations. I think people's issue with this teacher, Kayla Lemieux, is quite clear. They're wearing giant, lewd, prosthetic breasts with protruding nipples. It's nothing appropriate for a classroom. But anyways, let's continue on. Similarly, it is important to recognize the impact that dress code policies can have on members of the transgender community. Most notably, it is important for employers to make allowances to ensure that these employees are able to express themselves in accordance with their lived gender, the report says. At the meeting, Tanya Roca, a trustee, asked whether the student dress code could simply be applied to employees. Taha said that the relationships between the boards and students and teachers and the board are different. Okay, so I've got to stop here and just kind of point out the obvious. So, my understanding of what's being said right here is that students have a dress code to follow and maintain, but that same dress code cannot be extended to teachers. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that mean that it's the students that are setting the example through dress codes for the teachers? I don't know, that's what it seems like to me. Let me know what you think. But again, to me, it sounds like the students are essentially setting the example for the teachers to follow because they actually have a set of rules to dress somewhat respectably, where the school appears to be saying that the teachers don't have to dress in a respectful manner at any time. For example, I guess Kayla Lemieux can come in tomorrow wearing lingerie, and that would be perfectly fine because it matches his assigned gender. But hopefully, we never find the truth of that statement out, and he doesn't start to test that next. In response to the National Post's request for comment, a school board spokesperson sent a statement from Taha. Even if a dress code is implemented for non-discriminatory reasons and in good faith, it would likely be found to be discriminatory, the statement said. Even a truly reasonable and non-discriminatory dress code or grooming standards would most likely fail to achieve the board's intended goal of being an employer that fosters a culture of professionalism, respect, equity, and inclusion. Photos and video of the teacher wearing giant prosthetic breasts were published on social media by students and led to headlines in several countries and in multiple languages. Some were outraged. Others became convinced the teacher is trolling the board. The theory, drawn from no discernible facts, is that the teacher earlier had a disagreement with school officials for not being serious or sensitive enough towards diversity initiatives, and in retort is confronting the school with an exaggerated outcome of their policies in something akin to performance art. It is suggested in online posts the teacher may hope to be fired for the display to highlight board hypocrisy or perhaps boost some negotiation. The theory seems fueled by disbelief, the teacher's chosen apparel, and outsized presentation of the prosthetics could be legitimate, mixed with assumptions on attitudes expected from a teacher specializing in technological education that is often called industrial arts or shop. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the outcome, at least from Halton District School Board's perspective, the outcome that it wouldn't be a good idea to impose any sort of dress code on teachers because it would be found to be discriminatory. Because I think that's absolutely wild, and I'm sure they can put some language in there that would be able to prevent teachers from wearing lewd things to work or presenting themselves in a lewd way. Just to point out something else, I don't know what the difference is between Kayla Lemieux doing what he's doing with the prosthetic breasts and a female teacher taking a foot-long sex toy, shoving it down the front of her pants and saying that's how she identifies. I'm pretty sure the school would have something to say about that, but let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.